Hey everybody, what's up? Tim with today's SCE. Hope wherever you're at, you are doing awesome and killing it, and thanks so much for watching. So we are in the middle of our mini-series on how to create an epic belief system. And hopefully you've been taking the steps and following us along, because today we're going to get to a really critical step in the process. And that is, belief without action is dead. You can have the greatest beliefs in the world, but if you don't start to act on them, it's not going to take you anywhere. You can sit around, lock yourself in your room, or go out in the woods and meditate all day long, but if you don't start to act on your beliefs, you're going to find yourself just spinning in circles. So up to this point, we've talked about the fact that beliefs are real important. They control our lives. And we decided to look at how are we going to create beliefs with intentions that are going to take us to where we want to go, so we can shape our life to look like the way we want it to. And we can do and become everything we want. And we said in the very beginning that beliefs are simply ideas, and that we hold a certain number of beliefs because we've absorbed these ideas somewhere along the life. We've decided to accept them as true. We've given them an awful lot of meaning and importance, and we've rehearsed them so they've manifested for us. And from the very onset, we started to define, what do we want to look like? What vision would we have of ourselves if we were living in our best self? What would that look like? How would we act? How would we talk? How would we think? And we asked ourselves to boil that down to one idea, that if we incorporated that one idea, it would move us closer to where we want to go. And then we took that idea and we added a lot of motivation behind it, but by determining what was our why. In other words, what are the reasons as to why this is important for us? And we said that that why is going to propel us through the hard times and through the easy times, and it's going to light us from a motivational aspect on fire to pursue that belief and to go after it with intention and with ferocity. And then we decided that we needed to practice that belief. And we talked about, we practice it in our thoughts and in our emotions, and also we get it in our mouth, and we start to tell ourselves that we already are that particular belief, and we confess that again and again and again, and as much as possible. Today, the next step is we're going to act on that belief. And how you do that is you go back to that vision you created, and you look at that vision of yourself and you say, if I was that person now, what kind of actions would I be taking on a daily basis? And you start to take those actions. So for me, I said, hey, I want to be a great runner. That was the belief, and I painted this vision of myself of being a great runner and being able to do 10, 12, 15, 20 miles. And the idea that I came down to, the belief that I wanted to incorporate, was I was a great runner, because I wasn't. I then determined my why. Why was this important for me? Well, number one, it made me feel great. Number two, it increased my confidence. Number three, it helped me stay fit. You know, before I started running, I realized I gained about 8 to 10 pounds from all the travel and eating out I was doing. Well, now after a month or so of running, not only has that disappeared, but several other pounds have disappeared. So that just added to the motivation for me to get behind this idea of being a runner. Then I started to talk to myself about it. When I'm out running, I confess and I say it over and over again. I'm a great runner. I love to run. And I talk about it, and I talk to myself about it, and I incorporated it into my language and into my daily workouts, where it almost became just like when the special forces run to cadence. It almost became my cadence, my mantra. So I was putting it in my mouth. Finally, I was acting as if I was a runner. And here's what you want to do. You want to go back to that vision and look at that ideal picture of who you want to be and say, how would I be acting if I was that person? And then you start to act in that capacity. So for me, it was running every day. It was getting up at 2 or 3 in the morning, getting the sneakers on and hitting the pavement, whether it was rain or shine. It was locking down my eating, giving up sugar, trying to eat less than 25 grams of sugar every day, which made a big difference. It was starting to build my day differently so that I could get a run in every day. It was starting to think differently and start to read about running. And it was taking the actions as if I was already in that position. And this is where it becomes so critical. You start to live the vision now. Live as if you were that person now. Determine what things would you be doing if you were living that belief and if that belief were true. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I've said this before, said, create a vision, live as if it's true, and it's going to come to pass. Another lady who's been talking a lot about this is named Amy Cuddy. She's a professor at Harvard. She wrote a great book with a colleague called Presence, which the book is designed to help you gain more confidence, but she talks about the act as if principle. Wherever you want to go, whatever you want to be, act as if you're there now, and it will happen. The pieces will come into alignment. So whatever that belief is, figure out what actions you would be taking as if it was already true for you, and start to take those actions day in and day out. And once you do, that momentum is going to start to pick up, and pretty soon, after a week or two, you're going to find they become more and more automatic. They become actually enjoyable. You gain momentum behind them, and they start to become part of your daily routine. And when that happens, and you combine it with the confessions and the why behind it, and rehearsing that vision, it's going to happen. It can't not happen. So I want you to think about what are 5 things, 5 actions that you would be taking if you were already living that belief, that were already true, and I want you to start to take those today. And I want you to take those every day for the next 30 days and see the difference that it makes. Now, I said that this was going to be the last clip, but I have one more for you. Next week, we're going to talk about congruence. And congruence is the absolute bedrock principle behind belief, because you can do all these things, but if they're not in alignment, you're going to struggle. And if you've ever struggled to try to believe something, congruence is one of the first places I would look, because it's where people oftentimes fall down. So today's point is act your belief out. If you don't take the action, your belief is worthless. But look at those actions that align with your belief and start taking them. Take them every day, and it's going to just take that belief and it's going to, boom, skyrocket into existence and skyrocket it to the next level. So Tim from the LV wishing you an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.